ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ള എല്ലാ സുഹൃത്തുക്കളെയും ഈ ഓൺലൈൻ ക്ലാസ്സിലേക്ക് സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്യുന്നു. അസോസിയേഷൻ ഓഫ് പബ്ലിക് ഹെൽത്ത് എഞ്ചിനീയേഴ്സ് കേരള അപ്പക്കിന്റെയും എഞ്ചിനീയേഴ്സ് ഫെഡറേഷൻ ഓഫ് കേരള വാട്ടർ അതോറിറ്റി എഫ്കയുടെയും അസിസ്റ്റന്റ് എഞ്ചിനീയേഴ്സ് അസോസിയേഷൻ AEA എന്നീ സംഘടനകളുടെ പേരിൽ നിങ്ങളെല്ലാവരെയും ഈ ഓൺലൈൻ സെഷനിലേക്ക് ഹാർദവമായി സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്യുന്നു. ഇന്ന് ഈ ക്ലാസ് നയിക്കുന്ന ഡോക്ടർ ഷിബു കൃഷ്ണനെ ഏറെ ആദരവോടെ ഈ സെഷനിലേക്ക് സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്യുന്നു. അദ്ദേഹത്തെ ഈ ക്ലാസ്സിലേക്ക് അദ്ദേഹത്തെ ഇൻട്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നതും ഈ ക്ലാസ്സിനെ പറ്റിയുള്ള വിവരണങ്ങൾ നൽകുവാനും എൻ്റെ പ്രിയ സുഹൃത്ത് എഞ്ചിനീയർ മനീഷ് മോഹനെ ആദരവോടെ ക്ഷണിക്കുന്നു.
താങ്ക് യു സർ. എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം. അപ്പോൾ ഇന്നത്തെ നമ്മുടെ സെഷൻ കൈകാര്യം ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഡോക്ടർ ഷിബു കൃഷ്ണൻ സാറാണ്. സാറ് ട്രിവാൻഡ്രത്തെ കോളേജ് ഓഫ് എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് അവിടുത്തെ സിവിൽ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റിലെ അസോസിയേറ്റ് പ്രൊഫസറാണ്. എൻവയോൺമെന്റ് എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ആണ് അദ്ദേഹം കൈകാര്യം ചെയ്യുന്ന വിഷയം. അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് മദ്രാസ് യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റിയിൽ നിന്ന് MTech, കേരള യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റിയിൽ നിന്ന് ഡോക്ടറേറ്റ് ലഭിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. മാത്രമല്ല APJ അബ്ദുൽ കലാം ടെക്നിക്കൽ യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റി സ്റ്റുഡൻസിനായിട്ട് 1ാം സെമസ്റ്റർ വിദ്യാർത്ഥികൾക്കായി അദ്ദേഹം ഇൻട്രൊഡക്ഷൻ ടു സസ്റ്റൈനബിൾ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് എന്ന ഒരു പുസ്തകം അദ്ദേഹം രചിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഇന്ത്യൻ വാട്ടർ വർക്ക് അസോസിയേഷൻ ഉൾപ്പെടെയുള്ള സർക്കാരിന്റെ വിവിധ എക്സ്പെർട്ട് കമ്മിറ്റിയിൽ അദ്ദേഹം ആജീവനാന്ത മെമ്പർ കൂടിയാണ്. അദ്ദേഹത്തിന്റെ ദീർഘകാലത്തെ അധ്യാപക പരിചയം, വിവിധ ഇന്റർവ്യൂ പാനൽ പങ്കെടുത്തിട്ടുള്ളതിന്റെ അറിവ്, ഇവയെല്ലാം തന്നെ നമുക്ക് ഓരോരുത്തർക്കും ഒരു മുതൽക്കൂട്ടാവുന്ന കാര്യത്തിന് സംശയമില്ല. ഞാൻ അധികം ദീർഘിപ്പിക്കുന്നില്ല. ശ്രീ ഡോക്ടർ ഷിബു കൃഷ്ണൻ സാറിനെ ഈ സെഷൻ കൈകാര്യം ചെയ്യുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടി ആദരവോടുകൂടി ക്ഷണിച്ചുകൊള്ളുന്നു.
മനീഷ് ഓഡിബിൾ ആണ്?
കേൾക്കാം സർ, കേൾക്കാം.
So thank you so much for your nice introduction. Thank you. I really thank the Kerala Water Authority for giving me an opportunity for me for discussing or having a deliberation with the aspiring candidates for Kerala Water Authority Assistant Engineer. Now, what I'll try to do is say I have been to a lot of PSC interviews and all. Whatever expertise I'm having, I will share with you. In between, if you are having any doubts, because it is not possible, because everything under the sun can be the subject or can be asked in the interview. So if you're having any doubts, maybe during the last 10-15 minutes or 20 minutes we can discuss, or maybe in between also you can interrupt me. I have no problem whatsoever. So I really thank Water Authority, and I wish all the candidates all the very best for their interview. Okay, so good afternoon one and all, and now we are moving on to our session. I have a couple of PPTs presentations, and I will just share that now. മനീഷ് ഷെയർ ആവുന്നുണ്ടല്ലോ അല്ലേ?
അതെ സാർ, കാണാം.
മനീഷ് ഷെയർ ആവുന്നുണ്ടോ?
വിസിബിൾ ആണ്, കാണാം സർ.
എക്കോ ഒന്നും ഇല്ലല്ലോ അല്ലേ?
ഇല്ല സർ, പെർഫെക്റ്റ് ആണ്.
ഓക്കെ. Okay, so let me move on to the topic. So I am from College of Engineering Trivandrum. So a couple of slides on College of Engineering Trivandrum. It started way back in 1939, and it was shifted to the present campus in 1960. And we have this is a aerial view. And our prestigious civil engineering department started in the year 1939. And these are the specializations we are having. These are the specializations we are having. These are the specializations, and I belong to environmental engineering stream. So preparation for PSC interview. Now, let me tell you one thing. You have already proved your merit in the written examination. So maybe 100%. And personality test or the interview carries around 20% weightage. Now, as far as my knowledge is concerned, this is just a personality test. Personality test in the sense technical knowledge already tested. Now what they are trying to do is they will be concentrating on maybe the current affairs and most likely water authority and maybe something related to environmental engineering, mechanical and chemical engineering. It depends upon the expert, subject expert, what sort of questions he or she asks. Okay, I hope I am audible and I am moving on. Okay. So just going through Kerala Public Service Commission, he is Dr. M.R. Baiju. He's the chairman Kerala PSC. Because why I wanted to introduce him is because he was from our own college. He was a professor, and he's a chairman, and there are 16 members in Kerala PSC. And I will just give you the hierarchical structure of Public Service Commission, Kerala Public Service Commission. They have a secretary and a number of secretaries. This is a hierarchical formation of the administrative setup. And when it comes to Kerala Water Authority, so it was established in 1984. So I have taken this from their website. If there is any difference in current affair, any information regarding current affairs, you have to just go through and check it out. So this water authority was established in 1984. It comes under Department of Water Resources. And to the best of my knowledge, Sri Roshi Agustin is the Minister for Water Resources Kerala. Water Authority comes under this ministry. And MD is Bandari Swagat Ranveer Chand, and Chairman is Ashok Kumar Singh. We just check up the current affairs, whether this is correct or not. Okay. Now, when it comes to Kerala Water Authority, they have technical members, accounts member, as well as chief engineers. And if you take the PSC interview panel, as you walks into the PSC interview boardroom, certainly one or two PSC members will be there. And a Kerala Water Authority official also will be there, maybe a superintending engineer or maybe engineer, chief engineer, or maybe it depends upon their official duties and all, and the subject expert. Subject expert is usually from an academic institution. And when you enter, say this is actually what you see in the Kerala Public Service Commission boardroom. You will be sitting, and in front of the candidate there will be a table. You can keep your file, your pen, and you can see two PSC members will be sitting in the middle. And on the left side end, we have the Kerala Water Authority official, the engineer, and on the right hand side there will be the subject expert. Now the interview, when it starts, the PSC member, what they will try, so this is actually the PSC seating arrangement, that interview arrangement. And when you read PSC, you will be initially filling a resume. So in that resume, the PSC member or PSC member number one will read out the resume. So a lot of things depends upon how you fill this resume. One, handwriting, it should be legible. It should be legible, and you should honestly fill it. All these things, name of the post, education, your education qualification, experiences, expertise, if you have been included in any other rank list, hobbies, then ambition, achievements in sports cultural activities. So all these things, the PSC member will read out from whatever that you are going to write in the resume. And based upon the resume, he or she will be asking questions. So you should be very honest with this, and this is something which they use to keep you at ease. No tension, nothing. So they want you to. And again, one more thing: language is not at all a barrier. If you are comfortable with Malayalam, you can straight away say that, as sir, I am comfortable with Malayalam, or otherwise it will continue in English. So that is what I have experienced. Now, so I have talked to you about communication or language. That is not a barrier. And again, they will be asking you about the what is your prospects in other, if you have been included in other PSC rank list and all. So that they will be asking. And then if you are a graduate or a postgraduate, maybe it depends. Where have you carried out your post graduation? 1 second. Okay. So, where did you carried out your MTech thesis? Maybe they can ask about your MTech thesis and all. Where you graduated. All those things will be written, and again they will be asking all this, whatever you have written. And again, say major water supply in the candidate's location. Maybe I basically belong to Kollam. So if I am a candidate, I can be asked, say, at your doorstep from where the water is coming from. Maybe I can say that it comes from Shasamkota Lake. Okay, what is special about Shasamkota? It is actually the largest freshwater lake in Kerala. So is it a Ramsar site? Do you know about Ramsar site? So likewise, the discussion will be going on depending upon the answer from the candidate. So one thing, to be honest, the candidate should if you are not no if you don't know an answer, so please do say that, sorry sir, I don't know the answer. Or otherwise, if you bluff, what happens is that the discussion will be carried out based on what you answer. So it's actually your ability to take the discussion to a different level or to the right direction. So that all those things depends upon how you answer. So if you are honestly saying that, say, sir, I don't know the answer for this, then maybe the interview board will be stopping there and they will be moving on to some other discussion. Okay, so that is how the discussion usually prolongs. So the question depends upon the subject expert also, because the subject expert, if suppose I am in the boat, I will be more focusing on environmental engineering. If suppose one from structures comes, structural engineering, or a mechanical engineering background, or a chemical engineer background, that depends upon the subject expert. So, so that depends upon maybe all those comes under the syllabus of, say, whatever exam you have written. Mechanical, chemical, and civil engineering. So all those things can be asked in a mix or maybe selectively. So I already told you, if you don't know the answer, admit it openly, and the discussion can be closed there itself. And we should be very pleasant and confident, because most of the times I have also seen that if you are having a pen, you will be opening the pen, closing the pen, opening the pen, closing the pen. So that itself shows that you are under some tension. So that is why a stool is being provided in front of the candidate, and you can keep all your belongings there, and you have to sit on the chair with your in the erect position, so that it shows that you are confident. I hope you understand. And if there is a lady in the panel, you have to first wish the lady, and then you have to wish the other members also. And when you are answering, say, if suppose a PSC member or a subject expert or a Kerala Water Authority official is asking the question, you should look into the eyes of each and every member while answering. It is not like one person is answering, one person is shooting the question, and you have to look into him or her to answer. So that should be avoided. You should be having a good eye, should be keeping a good eye contact with all the panel members. Okay. So something general, we will be coming to that. And if possible, I don't know how many of you go through newspaper and all, at least on the day of the interview, you should go through the newspaper so that if something special regarding water authority or water supply or mechanical or civil or some achievement or something regarding wastewater treatment or some achievements by a musician or a sports person. So all those can come from the PSC member side. So they will, if you answer it correctly, okay, at least they will have the impression that okay, he or she is keeping update with the current affairs and all. And then, so aware, you should be aware of the social and political issues. Maybe political issues also can come. Maybe so what is happening if some riot is going on somewhere, or if some earlier I was in the pollution control board panel also. So Brahmapuram issue was at the peak. So what was the issue there, and what was going on there? What is your option as an engineer? So like the discussion goes. So always keep an eye on the current affairs, so the social as well as political. And we know that some states are burning, Northeast, especially. So that issue also can pop up. That depends upon the member. Okay. Then just a minute. Hello, ഞാനൊരു മീറ്റിംഗിലാണ്. ഞാൻ ഈ മീറ്റിംഗ് കഴിഞ്ഞ ഓർമ്മ കേട്ടോ. ശരി. ഓക്കെ. Okay. Okay. So if you belong to some area which is famous, from Aramula, if you are belonging to Aramula, so what is Aramula famous for? Is there any historical sites, or maybe is there any famous personality from that particular area? So those sort of informations also you should be able to know. So that also what I have seen, most of the PSC members will be asking that also. And your hobbies, that is very critical, especially some might be for some it is cooking food. So I have heard most of the times they ask about, okay, which is your delicious food, how you prepare those things. So all these things comes under, so whenever you write it honestly. So that is what, because then only you can answer those questions to the best of your from the bottom of your heart. Then current profession, so that is also very important. Now when you are working somewhere, if suppose you are working as an overseer in LSGD, okay, okay, you are working as overseer, then what are you doing there? Okay, what is the nature of work? And all those things can be asked. So if you prepare it well, so we means the board will be having an impression that, oh, he or she is very confident about, okay, he or she is exactly knowing what exactly she does there. So he or she is very capable. If we are selecting her, he or she will be very capable. So that will be the feel of the board. So that is what I meant by the current profession that you will be writing in the resume that will be provided by the Kerala PSC. Coming to the role of water authority, maybe the Kerala Water Authority official or maybe the PSC member or can themselves ask you about what is the role of water authority. Okay. So maybe basically, if you say that the two things are there, water treatment as well as giving drinking, providing potable water to the masses, as well as in the field of sewage treatment also, wastewater treatment also. And most likely what I feel is in the role of Kerala Water Authority doesn't pertain to these two. Lot of other domains are also there. But what are the process involved in water treatment? Do we have, if the interview is carried out in Trivandrum? Okay, Trivandrum, from where the drinking water is coming from, say from Arivikara, or maybe what is the sort of treatment plant there? What are the process that is going on there? Just some general questions, because I already told you that your subject expertise or technical knowledge is already tested. Then let me tell you one more information. If you go through the rank list or the final published rank list of various posts, what I have observed is the minimum interview mark will be around 10 or 11, or the maximum may be 15 or 16. So that's a small range. If you score more in your written examination, then certainly, and if you are performing average, on an average or above average, you will get certainly 13 or 14 or 15 marks. So it all depends upon how you have already scored in the written examination. Now let me come back. Kerala Water Authority, water treatment, the main processes, the nearby water treatment projects, or maybe the wastewater treatment, what are the processes involved? I will come to that later: preliminary, primary, secondary, tertiary, etc., and nearby sewage treatment plants. And if there is any main projects of water authority nearby, then again you should know about some of the projects which are central government projects also. Jal Jeevan Mission, or maybe Amrit. All these things can be a topic of discussion. So Jal Jeevan Mission, I will just every rural household should have a drinking water supply. So that is their vision actually, and to ensure drinking water on a long-term basis. That is another vision. And their objective is every rural household should have a functional tap connection by 2024. So that way, the mission is being working forward. Regarding water, that's why I included that. And Amrit scheme or Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation. So it's an initiative by Government of India. As you know, it is for urban areas to provide basic civic amenities to the urban areas. We all know that the basic amenities, roti, kapda, makan, water also comes into that to improve the quality of life. That is regarding Amrit scheme, and maybe they can ask for who is minister, central minister, Ministry of Jal Shakti, Ministry of Water Resources. We have a couple of minister for state also. So this is a central minister, Gajendra Singh Shekhawat. Just check up the current affairs in the current affairs whether this is correct or not. Now they can ask you, say you have applied or you are appearing for the interview of post of engineer. So what is the role? What is the role of an engineer, especially in Kerala Water Authority? You may be a civil engineer, chemical engineer, or a mechanical engineer. So basically, I am from environment. So I'll be taking one example. So what is the role of engineer as a civil, chemical, mechanical? If you take our environmental engineer, so we know that a lot of pollutants are coming into our planet, either in the atmosphere or in the hydrosphere or in the lithosphere. So nature is having a self-cleansing mechanism, and this self-cleansing mechanism converts it into waste materials which are more acceptable. Nature itself is dispersing them. But now this huge volume of pollutants are entering, which is beyond the self-cleansing capacity. So whether this natural process alone can perform the cleanup? No. The treatment facilities are to be designed. So how the treatment facilities have to be designed? Because nature itself is having a beautiful mechanism of converting waste into less objectionable or to another product which is having a less impact or less polluting. So the same principle we will take, and the rate at which this facilities have to be worked is high, because humans are creating more waste materials in this world, and we cannot go through the normal or the slow self-cleansing mechanism in our planet. So that is why the engineer will be adopting some process for pollution control to handle the larger volume of pollutants. One example is that we are creating tall stalks, as you can see from the presentation. Why? Because we have to disperse and dilute air pollutants. So by the time it reaches the ground, uh, the concentration may be less. So it is a simple example. Then wastewater treatment facilities, solid waste engineering landfill. Filtration is the best example because um, whenever a rain happens, nature is having a mechanism of taking the water, filtering it through sand, and it will reaching the groundwater. Now, the same mechanism we have adopted in water treatment process also. We are using bed, sand bed. You might have studied about slow sand filter, rapid sand filter, pressure filter. There we take sand. So we are mimicking the nature. We are taking all the mechanisms from nature, but the natural filtration rate is too slow. We have to adopt a faster filtration rate. So that is why most of the water treatment plants are using rapid sand filters instead of slow sand filters. So the main objective is to convert an objectionable waste material to a less objectionable form. And the end product should be compatible with the environment. So I have already told you about current projects of water authority in your native place. You should know about that. And if the interview is on a special day, what I mean is that a day of national importance or an international importance. Most of the times, most of the candidates, these PSC members used to ask, so what is so special about today? So I have just added something. I have just added some days. So any importance to the day with respect to the environment, or maybe water, or maybe on any discipline or any field. I have just listed out few World Wetland Day, 2nd February. You all know wetlands. In connection to wetlands, we have a Ramsar Convention. Wetlands are water bodies or maybe marshy land of international importance. And in India, we do have around 75 wetlands. And in Kerala, we have 3 wetlands of international importance. So these wetlands of international importance are called Ramsar sites. And Shasam Kota is a Ramsar site in Kerala, in Kollam. And another Ramsar site is Ashtamudi Kayal, and that is also a Ramsar site. And we have Vembanad coal, so that is also another Ramsar site. So, so these are very much required for our ecological restoration. World Forestry Day, so 21st March. Then World Water Day, 22nd March. So 21st March, we have the World Forestry Day. The very next day, 22nd March, we have the World Water Day, because we know that if you are asked what is the biggest challenge that Kerala faces with respect to water, I would say that it is E. coli contamination or bacterial or fecal contamination of our water bodies. The Bureau of Indian Standards, I think in hand with Pollution Control Board and Water Authority, have already carried out studies, and they have come up with a report that more than 90 to 95% of the water bodies in Kerala are contaminated with human fecal matter, that is fecal contamination or E. coli. So what is the solution for that, or how this comes in? Don't we have septic tanks? Of course, most of the houses in Kerala have latrine pits. We don't have a pakka septic tank, because when you talk of a septic tank, soak pit should be there. The normal septic tank along with soak pit should be there. But in Kerala, leaching or overflow, because we are having nice rain, flood is there. So this may overflow. So because most of the time soak pit will not be there. So again, most of the regions, especially if you take Kuttanad, those are underwater. there even they cannot have a septic tank. Why? Because is that most of the times it overflows. So all these conditions are there. Just World Water Day that came to my mind about the water quality. So that's what I was telling about that. So 21st World Forestry Day, 22nd World Water Day, and then National Water Day on April 14th. April 14th, we have National Water Day. Then World Meteorological Day, that is on March. This is on actually March 23rd. So March 21st, World Forestry Day. March 22nd, World Water Day. March 23rd, we have the World Meteorological Day. So that is 1, 2, 3 consecutive days. World Earth Day, that is on 22nd April. World Environment Day, you all know, on 5th June. This time, I think, beat plastic pollution. That is the slogan. And World Population Day. This is very much relevant because India has recently overtaken China in terms of population. So India is the most populated country in the world. So 11th July is World Population Day. World Nature Conservation Day on July 28th. Then, of course, in August, it is learned that in August, this Kerala Water Authority interview starts for the post of assistant engineer. So certainly this Hiroshima Day will someday, Hiroshima Day will come into the picture. So that is why I thought I include that also. Hiroshima Peace Memorial Ceremony Day, August 6th. So if you are having your interview on 6th, maybe most likely they can ask this. So little boy, fat boy, those bombs, etc. You should just go through that 6th of August and as well as 9th of August. Then International Biodiesel Day on August 10th. Because we all know that we are shifting from the traditional fuel to electric, to solar, to wind, to hybrid, to hydrogen, to biodiesel, to reduce the pollution. And certainly one more thing that comes to my mind regarding this is the global warming, because 2023 July is supposed to be the hottest month so far. So far, it's supposed to be the hottest month in the history of Earth's history. So I think July 5th or July 10th, I think it was the warmest. We don't know what is going to happen. And something regarding Paris summit. Most of the times, these PSC members used to ask about global warming and climate change. Global warming and climate change. So that is very much interlinked. The National Sports Day on 29th August. Sorry, or 29th August. And Engineers Day on 15th September. You should not miss this out. 15th September, Engineers Day. And the theme this time is Engineering Innovation for a More Resilient World. Then, of course, International Day for the Preservation of Ozone Layer, 16th September. World Pollution Prevention Day on December 2. So, December 2, why is because Bhopal gas tragedy. So, Bhopal gas tragedy occurred during the midnight of December 2, December 3, and which was one of the worst disaster. And that is why World Pollution Prevention Day is being is on December 2nd. Then if you can know about something about the water tariffs, because they may be, since it is the post assistant engineer Kerala Water Authority, maybe what is the water tariff for a domestic connection, or maybe an non-domestic, or maybe for an institution, for a college, for a hotel, or maybe an industry. What is the tariff that they are whether it is high compared to other states. They can ask questions like that. So you should have an idea about. I have just taken it from net. I am not sure whether it's correct or not. I think the Water Authority can clarify on this. Domestic connection is there, non-domestic is there, industrial is there. So just go through their website. Then comes the specification. Because as we all know that the role of Kerala Water Authority, one of the main role is that to drink potable water. And when it comes to potable water, there is another water quality also regarding what is the quality of water to be used in civil engineering construction. So that is clearly mentioned in IS Indian specification 456, IS 456. So please go through that also. So BIS specification regarding drinking water. So the code is IS 10,500/2012. And in the 2012, you can just Google and you will get a PDF. You can just go through the limits and all. So these are just I have taken from the code itself. Earlier, if you are going to the textbook, it is physical parameters, chemical impurities, biological impurities, but it is not like that now. It is organoleptic and physical impurities or parameters, and then comes chemicals, substance which are excessive in chemical, and general parameters concerning substances undesirable. So you just go through the codal provision. And let me tell you one particular thing about this BIS drinking water specification. Now you can see here, because there are two types of specification. Just a minute. One is you can see over here as acceptable limit and permissible limit. So you just go through. Acceptable limit means whether this limit can be accepted, and permissible limit, if there is only one water source, where there is no other water source, you can go up to this. So there are two limits, acceptable and permissible. Now, if you take the case of iron, it is given that the acceptable limit and permissible limit is 0.3 milligram per liter. Okay, but now if you ask me, as per this code, this is the limit. But if you ask me, as per this code, if this value still remains, I would say that has been changed already. You can see here, according to the latest amendment, because whatever additions or amendment comes, it will be automatically added up to the existing code. So if you go through the acceptable limit and permissible limit, it is 1 actually. Because last time also I asked this question, most of the candidates were mentioning it as 0.3, but it is not 0.3, it is 1 milligram per liter. Because if you go through the IS 10,500/2012, one page is there. In 2015, it has been amended. 2015, it has been amended. So till 2015, it was 0.3, and now it is 1 milligram per liter. So these are some tricky questions which the subject expert or maybe purposefully asking, whether you are currently updated with the updates and all. So just I have taken one example, that's all. Am I audible? കേൾക്കുന്നൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടോ?
Yes.
കേൾക്കാം സർ, കേൾക്കാം.
Okay, fine. So that's regarding iron. Just I have taken one example. When bacteriological counts, it should be nil. Should be nil in drinking water. Then there are some other IS codes for discharging effluent from the effluent. Effluent in the sense, say whenever the wastewater is generated, either this wastewater or the sewage can be discharged onto a nearby land. Option number 1. Option number 2, onto a nearby water body. Most commonly we do that. The third, onto a nearby public drain, and the fourth one is to a sea, to the sea. So there are some general standards of discharge of pollutants. It is laid down by the Central Pollution Control Board. I will just show you that. So here you can see when the pollutants are discharged onto a nearby water body, which is very common. Public sewer, we have another set of standards. Nearby land, we have another set of standards. And to the sea, we have another set. So just go through that. I have just taken the screenshot from the PDF. You can just type in general standards of discharge of environmental pollutants. Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D. Four parts are there, and some annexure 1 and annexure 2 is there. We just go through. I will just scroll on through these slides. So general standards of discharge of environmental pollutants, Part A, effluents. 4 options are there. It is These are the limits. Then comes wastewater generation standards, part B. How much wastewater should be generated for if you are producing this much finished products, industry. That also is there in the same PDF. And load-based standards are there depending upon the load, wastewater load that comes in. Then the emission, how much pollutants, air pollutants are emitted. There also we are having a general emission standards. So all these are again noise standards are also there. Whenever noise standards are there, that should be specified at what distance this noise testing equipment should measure this. We just go through the normal conversation. What is the decibel? Because there are two scales in which noise pollution can be measured: decibel A, and the unit for measuring this noise is decibel. A scale is there as well as B scale is there. So just go through that. You will be able to know what are the normal decibel for a normal conversation, maybe a jet or an aeroplane that is flying. Maybe the threshold of pain for our eardrum. Like that, you just go through the noise standards. You can just Google in like National Ambient Air Quality Standards. National Ambient Air Quality Standard 2009, NAAQS. So in that last part will be noise pollution. First part will be regarding air pollution. And when I talk about air pollution, let me tell you one thing. Now air pollution is now measured or expressed in our country in terms of air quality index. So there are some criteria or descriptor words for if the air quality index is between 0 and 50, 51 to 100, 101 to 150, like that it goes. Noise standards are also there. I'll just skip this because these are not necessary. Now coming to questions related to environmental engineering, I will go on with water treatment, the basic water treatment process, not in detail, because we have time limit. Maybe before 9 I have to complete this. Wastewater treatment is there. So in environmental engineering, do focus on water treatment, wastewater treatment. Maybe types of pumps used in water treatment can be used. Types of pipes used in water supply. It should not be water treatment, in water supply. Types of pipes used in water supply. What are the valves which are used in water supply schemes? When it comes to civil structural engineering, cement. See, what are the normal grade of cement available? What are the field tests for cement? What are the what about the lab tests for cement? Then coming to concrete, the questions, suppose all this depends upon the subject expert, because if I am in the panel, I will focus on environment and something general on other civil, mechanical, or maybe chemical. If suppose one from structures comes, maybe of course a couple of questions or 2 or 3 questions can be on structural engineering. So cement, concrete, we have RCC, we have PCC. What is the quality of water that can be used for concrete? That is mentioned in IS 456, because especially the limit of chloride content, the pH of water, it should not be acidic, and the silica content, the sulfur content in aggregate in water. So all these things are there in concrete. And what are the normal lab tests for concrete? You have the RCC beam, PCC beam, then the cube test, and the mix. I will come to that mix later. Steel, what about the normal diameter to be used in columns, the minimum cover to be used? So like that, questions related to structures also can be asked. This is what I was talking about, M15, M20. What is M? What is 20? Somebody will answer it as compressive strength. No, it is characteristic compressive strength. So there is something known as not more than 5% of the tested specimen should not fail. So M15, M stands for what? 15 stands for what? Something regarding workability of concrete can be asked. And regarding transportation engineering, normally it's a normal highway we have on NH66, from where it starts, from where it goes till where it goes. The state highways, the super elevation. Why when a curve comes, the outer side is elevated, which portion is elevated? Because what I have observed is that most of the members, including the subject expert or the PSC members or the or the concerned parent department officials, they will ask only questions. They will not say whether it is right or wrong, because that is a policy, I think. Because if we say that say whatever you are telling is wrong, that will be putting the candidate under undue pressure. So most of the times we will not say whether this is correct or not. What is about the normal if you have a national highway, what is the normal width, or what is the width of the normal width of the median? What about flexible payment? What is rigid payment? What is the IRC specification for this? So what is the difference between this flexible payment and rigid payment? So questions related to that also can be asked. These are just some guidelines I am giving. Everything under the sun can be their subject. All depends upon your answer and your resume. So that is the key. Coming to green buildings, what are the green rated? What are the which is the agency for giving a green certification in India? Green building, sustainable buildings, etc. Like that. Those also can be asked. And regarding our soil or foundation engineering, what are the soil types? The common soil type, laterite in Kerala. What is the bearing capacity of soil? What is shallow foundation? What is deep foundation? How you define that? What are the foundation types? For a bridge, which sort of foundation we give? What is the type of foundation we give in water? Well foundation. Maybe what is so special about machine foundation? Because machine foundation is always something we design to take in vibration also. So these type of questions also can be a topic of discussion. Coming to this hydraulic structure, maybe our marvelous Idiki Dam. What makes it so special? Hydraulic structures, aqueduct, fluid mechanics, the basics of fluid mechanics, the Bernoulli's theorem, or maybe conservation of mass, or conservation of momentum, or continuity equation. Then topics related to irrigation also can be, all depends. Because if suppose I ask a candidate, say which is your specialization, somebody may say MTech hydraulics engineering, or maybe MTech machine design, or MTech propulsion engineering. So something related to that, maybe from propulsion engineering, or maybe pollution, maybe which sort of BS norms we are following, Bharat stage norms, because we were following Bharat stage 4 norms. We skipped the Bharat stage 5 and we jumped down to Bharat stage 6. Now what we are following is Bharat stage 6, I think. So depending upon how you answer your questions, all depends upon the questions also will come in continuation in line with the final answer you say. What about COD, BOD? BOD, somebody may tell it as, or explain it as, or somebody will be expanding it as biological oxygen demand, or somebody will be saying it as biochemical oxygen demand. What is the BOD of drinking water? It should be nil. What is the difference between COD and BOD? So like that also things can come. Of course, regarding cement concrete, I think Biju sir has already taken the session for you. I think last month or a couple of months back. Yield test of cement, I have already told you. What is the problem in using pumping? Concrete works. Then I just unit weight of cement, or what is the weight of one bag of cement, like that they may ask. Nominal mix. I will just skip this. These were something which was prepared by, I think, Biju sir. Hydration of cement, bogus compounds. Then water cement ratio. Regarding water cement ratio, Abraham's law comes in. Composite strength and water cement ratio. Area, cube strength, one-way slab, two-way slab. Let's check this. Structural expert may be asking a lot of things like this. Something regarding surveying or price software, which is used for estimation. That can be also, you just go through, you will get. And again, what we are following while discussing on estimation, we are following the DSR rates, the Delhi schedule of rates. The year also should be known to you. Here there is a term known as biomining. So what do you mean by biomining? Actually, biomining means, I would like to tell you that as per a recent report from Kerala's solid waste regarding the Kerala solid waste management issues, the Kerala government has come up with a report that 34 legacy dump sites are there. 34 legacy dump sites means already for years and years, people are disposing their solid waste there. And till date, we have only one success story in completely converting this legacy dump site into a pakka normal land. That is in Kuripura, near the Ramsar site Ashtamudi, there was a legacy dump site. And of course, in Brahmapuram also, like biomining was being carried out, but that was not, it didn't reach the ultimate stage. So in between, some issues happened. So that is why, again, I think they have started now biomining. Biomining is in the sense that whatever waste, solid waste that has been accumulated in that particular legacy dump sites should be properly treated, and the reusable, recyclable materials, everything have to be taken, and it has to be disposed of properly. And finally, the rejects, maybe 1 to 2% rejects comes. That rejects also have to be taken care of and completely convert that land into what was the state previously. So that is what is biomining. And then, just a minute. Let me go to the water treatment processes as well. Screen കാണാമോ? കാണാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ടോ? എന്റെ സ്ക്രീൻ കാണാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ടോ? വാട്ടർ ട്രീറ്റ്മെന്റ് പ്രോസസ് കാണാം. ഓക്കെ. Now, regarding Kerala Water Authority, they are more concentrating on the water treatment system as well as the wastewater treatment system. So actually, this is the layout of a typical water supply scheme. There is a source. I say that I come from Kollam. My native is Kollam. We have Shasamkota Lake, but in Trivandrum we have Arivikara. So there is an intake structure. It will be taken to by means of a transmission system to a water treatment plant. Some process goes on, and after that, it will be taken to storage tanks. So from there, gravity flow will be there, and it will be finally reaching the household. Maybe in booster pumping stations, maybe they are required. That is in general. So various water treatment process involved are you take the raw water, screening is there. Screening means floating matters are removed. Then comes plain sedimentation. I will explain in the forthcoming slides. So raw water screening, it comes to screen, plain sedimentation, then sedimentation aided with the help of some chemicals. What are the normal chemicals used for as coagulants, they may ask. Then comes filtration. I told you that filtration with the help of sand bed, and now new materials are also being tried. Anthracite or maybe some sort of material which is having high filtration capacity or also being tried by water authority. Disinfection, aeration, and softening. But in most of the water treatment plant, if you see in Kerala, it all starts from aeration. Aeration means it will remove the bad smell, bad odor, and it will be completely oxygenating the water. So, but in regular treatment process, we used to say like this. It is like screening, sedimentation, plain sedimentation, sedimentation with coagulation, filtration, disinfection, aeration, softening, and some miscellaneous treatment methods are there, and fluoridation, defluoridation, or maybe liming, like that. And finally, the treated water is also comes. So miscellaneous treatment methods are fluoridation, removal of color and taste, removal of iron and manganese. Why iron and manganese is because manganese is usually found in combination with iron, and iron is very much common in Kerala. And again, there are some pockets where fluoride concentration is high, especially in Alappuzha, in Palakkad. And again, recarbonation, liming, and desalination. So screening, as you can see from the picture, removes floating matter. You can see a live screen here. Then comes sedimentation, plain sedimentation, then sedimentation with coagulation. Plain sedimentation means those under the gravity, those particles whose specific gravity is greater than 1. Specific gravity of water is 1. Those particles whose specific gravity is greater than 1, especially inorganic particles, that gets removed. We have rectangular sedimentation, that is not common now. This is rectangular, and now we have a clariflocculator. Circular sedimentation tanks are there, clariflocculators. All you might have studied in your preparing for your written examination. Then we add some chemicals. So normally they may ask that what are the normally used coagulants? Alum. What is the problem with alum? Whether it works in the acidic medium, acidic range effectively, or what about chlorinated copperas, alum? What is alum chemically? Because I used to ask, what is the chemical formula for alum? Most of you don't know aluminum Al2SO4 thrice 18H2O. So that is actually alum. So ferrous salt is there, a combination of chlorinated copperas is there. So likewise, why we add the coagulant is because you can see from this picture, impurities are here. The coagulants will trap the impurity. It becomes heavy, it will settle to the bottom. That is a simple phenomenon taking place regarding addition. And of course, when you add this chemical with water, there should be a flash mixer. So this is actually a flash mixer. Then of course you can see the clariflocculator. This is in the construction stage, clariflocculator. And then we have filtration. You have the sand layer, water will be coming from the top sand layer. We have the gravel. So through the sand, it gets filtered through the gravel, and it finally comes to underground drain, under drainage system. And from the under drainage system, it goes to an exit treatment system. So this is a slow sand filter. So the pore size is very less in between the sand, so easily it gets clogged. But more efficiency we will get. And rapid sand filter, most common nowadays. You can see over here. This is the bed. You can see over here. These are the beds. So slow sand filter, I will just skip this sand. But then comes disinfection. Chlorination is commonly carried out because it is very cheap. But in foreign countries, because when you are chlorinating the water, trihalomethanes, some carcinogens can come into picture. So, but India is a developing country. We cannot afford for other treatment mechanisms. So, reasonable amount of disinfection. Coming to disinfection, chlorination. What are the types of chlorination? Maybe what is the significance of breakpoint chlorination? What is the residual chlorine concentration that is to be provided in water lines, or that's to be maintained in water lines? All these can be questions of discussion. So disinfection is there, chlorination, or maybe ultraviolet rays. Chlorine is very heavy, so you can see the ventilation also at the bottom. Then comes aeration to remove an objectionable taste and odor. Dissolved gases, more and more water will be more and more oxygenated. So that is because whenever you see, we follow in Kerala cascading. From the top it comes, it will be cascading, and I think there is a picture. Yeah, this is a cascade aerator. You can see. So most of the water treatment plants do have a cascading system, so that more and more water get oxygenated. So if something is there which is some anaerobic reactions will be converted to aerobic chemical reactions. Then removal of hardness. So what is softening of water? Removal of hardness. So what are the types of hardness? Temporary, permanent. What is temporary due to? What is permanent due to? So those also can be. Lime soda process is there. Base exchange, demineralization process is there. Then comes miscellaneous treatments, because whenever fluoride comes, it is a double-edged sword. Kudiyalum koranyalum. So that is a main problem. So fluoride concentration should be in the limit. So what is the range of fluoride concentration in drinking water? Then liming, desalination, recarbonation. All these are miscellaneous treatment methods. Recarbonation, desalination. Okay, liming. So that is regarding water treatment. And wastewater treatment, I have another slide for wastewater treatment also. Why I have concentrated more on this is because mainly Kerala Water Authority are working in this particular fields. So coming to wastewater, there can be a lot of discharges from various fields. So they will be coming in, and you can see that whenever we are taking the water for drinking, it will be coming to a water treatment plant. A water distribution system is there. We will use the water. Once we use the water, it is estimated that around 75 to 85%. Normally we take it as 80%. So the 80% of water we use converts into wastewater. And this wastewater, we call it as sewage. So it goes to a sewage treatment plant, and it goes to discharge either to a water body, or to a land, or to a public sewer, or to a sea. So that is how, that is actually the how wastewater is generated. So when I talk about operations, there are the unit operations and processes in wastewater treatment, because we have to remove the contaminants or impurities in wastewater by physical, chemical, or biological means. So physical unit operations are there. Chemical, so we use chemicals. Physical means we use some force. We have to remove addition or deletion. Chemical means we use some chemical. Biological means we use some microorganisms, either aerobic or anaerobic. So coming to physical unit operations. So here in physical unit operations, contaminants are removed by some force, physical force. So in the screen, it gets removed. So that is the one example used to remove floating matter. So screening is a physical unit operation. Of course, sedimentation, plain sedimentation. Under gravity, we are using a force. Flotation. Again, those floating materials or froth will be coming to the top. Oil and grease that is being removed by flotation. Filtration. Again, the filter removes the dirt or impurities, either at the top layer or maybe in between the pores. So most of the physical unit operations, we are using a physical force and we are using to remove the suspended or floating matter. Screening, plane sedimentation, flotation, filtration. So you can see the screen here, it is removing the large particles. Commutators are there for shredding. Shredding systems are there to reduce the size. Grit removal. Again, under gravity, aerated grit chamber, horizontal flow grit chambers are there. Flotation unit, because here the removal is from the top. Because oil and grease particle, they comes to the top because they are lighter than, or the specific gravity is around 0.8, 0.9. Specific gravity of water is 1. So here we introduce fine bubbles from the bottom, it will take everything to the top. Then gravity separation, plane sedimentation, I already told you. Then comes chemical unit processes. So in chemical unit processes, we use chemicals. That is sedimentation and coagulation is an example. So this is an additive process. The physical unit operations were was an subtractive process. We were removing those things from the system. This is an additive process. We are adding here contaminants in wastewater are removed or converted by adding chemicals. You add alum, aluminum hydroxide 18H2O. The aluminum flux, aluminum hydroxide, aluminium hydroxide aluminum sulfate L2SO4 thrice 18H2O. Then once it reacts with the impurities, aluminum hydroxide will capture most of the impurities, becomes heavy and it will settle down. So here contaminants in wastewater are removed or converted by adding chemicals as a result of chemical reaction. We add wastewater. So coagulation, chemical precipitation, disinfection, all these are nothing but chemical unit process which comes in wastewater treatment. So chemical unit process, your coagulation is there, chemical precipitation is there. Then comes biological unit process. So in biological unit process, we are taking the help of microorganisms. So for microorganisms, just a minute. So in biological unit processes, we use microorganisms for decomposing the organic matter. What happens is that for microorganisms, our waste materials are the food. So either it can work in aerobic conditions or anaerobic conditions. So the biological unit process are used to remove biodegradable organic matter, because when you talk about biodegradable organic matter, what happened to the inorganic material? Inorganic material is sand, silt, clay. All these have been already removed in the previous operations. So to remove biodegradable organic matter, aerobic and anaerobic conditions are there. So what happens in aerobic conditions is that organic matter or the waste material, which is very unstable, will be decomposed by the microorganism to harmless or stable organic matter, water. They produce heat and additional bacteria. And when this bacteria, because if you take any process, whatever microbes you have to provide, those should be very, very active microorganisms, young microorganisms, and the conditions also should be conducive for them. So this is regarding aerobic decomposition. So the carbonaceous material can be converted to carbon dioxide, nitrogen to nitrate, sulfur to sulfate, phosphorus to phosphate. So unstable will be converted to stable, less harmful products. I would not say that completely free of pollution and all, but this is the fact. And these are some of the examples of aerobic bacteria. Coming to anaerobic decomposition, say last time when I was interviewing a candidate, I asked that what is the difference between aerobic and anaerobic decomposition. So one student or one aspiring candidate told that aerobic is in the presence of oxygen, anaerobic is in the absence of oxygen. Now let me tell you, my dear friends, there is nothing like no species in this world cannot survive without oxygen. They require oxygen. In aerobic decomposition, free oxygen is available. We are giving free oxygen. Free oxygen is available. Free DO is available. But in anaerobic decomposition, bounded oxygen, dissolved oxygen is there. Because nitrate means NO3. Their bounded oxygen is there. No free oxygen is available. Sulfate, SO4. They are also bounded oxygen or along with sulfur, there is a molecular oxygen. So that is known as bounded oxygen. The bounded molecular oxygen is there. So both require oxygen. One is free oxygen is required. Here they use bounded oxygen, bounded dissolved oxygen. So anaerobic decomposition, here the microbes will be converting this organic matter into hydrogen sulfide because oxygen is already used. So therefore, oxygen will not be there as a final product. So hydrogen sulfide, rotten egg smell, ammonia, methane, etc. will be there. And carbonaceous matter will be converted to methane, nitrogenous to ammonia, sulfur to hydrogen sulfide. So that is why obnoxious odor will become. These are some examples of anaerobic bacteria. So various operations, physical unit operation, chemical unit process, biological unit process are carried out in the wastewater treatment to attain the desired effluent quality. Now, the last part of my presentation is that in this wastewater treatment, I talked about aerobic and anaerobic. But in general, if you take the process, there are 4 techniques: preliminary, primary, secondary, and tertiary. So conventional treatment techniques are preliminary treatment, primary treatment, secondary treatment. Of course, tertiary treatment is there. Then again, after all these things, sludge will be formed. So what to do with the sludge? That is also a big problem nowadays. So preliminary treatment, going to preliminary treatment. So first one is preliminary treatment. So preliminary treatment is to remove floating matters and heavy settleable inorganic solids. So here you can see inorganic. That means sand particles, silt particles, etc. So we use screen, preliminary treatment. We use screen. We use grit chamber and detritus tank to remove the grit. For shredding, we use commutators. For removing oil and grease, we use skimming tank and flotation units. Screen, as I have shown you, already told you. Grit chamber, horizontal flow grit chamber is there. Aerated grit chamber is there. Commutators are, shredding systems are there to remove oil and grease. Okay, so that's also there. That is regarding preliminary treatment. Now comes primary treatment. So once preliminary treatment is done, these inorganic solids have gone. So in primary treatment, we have sedimentation tanks. In sedimentation tanks are there, but for small community or for a small household or maybe a small residential colony, septic tank and IMCOF tank comes. But for a normal wastewater treatment system or a centralized wastewater treatment system, septic tank and IMCOF tank are not part of that. Okay, so septic tank and IMCOF tank both are for local treatment systems. That's all. Septic tank maybe for an individual house or maybe for a hostel or a hotel. IMCOF tank, just like that, maybe for a small residential colony, 4 or 5 residences. But for a centralized system, septic tank and IMCOF tank doesn't come under this, but it's grouped under primary treatment. So sedimentation tanks are there in primary treatment to remove suspended organic solids. Effluent, that is whatever liquid that comes to the top will be going to the next stage of treatment. Sludge will be coming at the bottom, that will be taken to a sludge digestion tank. Then comes secondary treatment. This time I have just taken the basic things. In detail, if you go means we can go in detail, but I have just taken the basic. Now come to secondary treatment. here we use, I already told you that here we use microorganisms. Either it can work in the aerobic condition, free dissolved oxygen, or in the anaerobic condition, bounded oxygen. Bounded oxygen is there. So here in secondary treatment, to remove soluble and colloidal organic matter, microorganism converts this organic matter into gas and cell tissues. Gases means, I already told you gases. It depends upon aerobic or anaerobic. Aerobic means carbon dioxide will be there, water will be there, sulfur dioxide will be there. But if it is anaerobic, instead of carbon dioxide, methane will be there. Instead of sulfur dioxide, hydrogen sulfide will be there. And more microorganisms will be formed. So when I talk about biological system, here you can see preliminary treatment, then comes primary treatment. After the primary treatment, then here living organisms are doing the job. So no shock load should come into this unit. If shock load comes, it will be the microorganisms will be killed. So there will be an equalization chamber. Since biological systems are very sensitive to flow, we have to input no shock loads. So there will be an equalization chamber. So in secondary treatment, aerobic systems are there, anaerobic systems are there. Aerobic system, trickling filter is there, a media is there, activated sludge, a suspended system is there, aerated lagoons. Anaerobic, in anaerobic lagoons, anaerobic sludge digestion, anaerobic contact process, anaerobic filters are there. So based upon the techniques used to remove contaminants, attached growth system. This is a trickling filter is a best example. Attached growth system. So what do you mean by attached growth system? I don't know whether this much details are required for you, because whenever or whatever experience I do have in the Public Service Commission, your resume is the key and your answers are the key. Okay, let me complete this. So attached growth system, here microbes attach onto a solid medium, accumulates and converts organic matter into gases and cell tissues. Trickling filters, rotating biological contactors. Suspended means everything remains in a suspension. Activated sludge process. Activated sludge process is more common. It's more common. Then of course, if you are having lots of land, this is not applicable or feasible in Kerala. But if there is a state, if you go to Tamil Nadu, if you want to travel from one village to other, you may have to travel 100 kilometers or 200 kilometers. But in Kerala, it is nothing like that. There is nothing truly like a rural area. What we call in Kerala, it is a rural-urban continuum. So lagooning is there, aerobic and anaerobic facultative. So so that is regarding that one. I think I have just given you an idea about, and if you are having any doubt, you can mail me, or maybe you can, this is my WhatsApp number also. I think I have given you just a brief description on some of the topics, because I am working in the environmental engineering field, and Kerala Water Authority is also mostly associated with the water supply, wastewater and all those things. So this is what I have to tell you about the two things. What I will try to focus on is that one is when you're writing your biodata, be honest, write it very legibly, and don't make any spelling mistake. And you should honestly complete those things, because certainly questions will come from there. I have already given you some examples also. Current affairs regarding the minister, especially Water Authority, the MD, the chairman. So that hierarchical setup you should know. And that particular day in which your interview is being scheduled, you should know what exactly, or maybe on the previous day or on the next day, is there any a day of international importance or national importance. And don't bother much about the interview. You should be very confident, and if you don't know the answer, you stop there. The discussion stops there. They will take you to, because if we ask some questions and if the candidate is not able to answer, what we'll try to do is that Okay, for the interview, you have prepared something in which area you are comfortable. So if you can prepare something, or maybe if your strong area is water treatment or wastewater treatment, or maybe thermodynamics, or maybe chemical unit process, or maybe process control, you can go a little bit in detail, and maybe questions from that shall be asked. Because if the candidate doesn't answer 3 or 4 questions, what we'll try to do is that we will ask them, okay, be comfortable. Do you have prepared something? Which is your favorite topic? We will ask questions on that. So it is just like a discussion, not on a pakka technical discussion. It is just to know, because you have already proved your merit in the written examination. That is why you are in the that seat, interview seat. And I think that's all from my side. I really thank the Water Authority for giving me an opportunity. I don't know how I have conveyed the idea and all. Certainly, I wish you all the very best for all the participants or all the candidates. Uh, don't be too much tensed about the interview, because it's hardly minimum of 10 or 11 to maximum 15, or exceptionally good maybe 16. That's all. So that is what I have experienced. Now, if you are having any questions, I would like to clarify on, or otherwise I will wind it up. I hope it was useful. Manish, are you here? Are you there?
Friends, thank you, Dr. Shibu Krishnan. ഞാൻ കൃഷ്ണകുമാർ, വർക്കിംഗ് പ്രസിഡന്റ് എഞ്ചിനീയേഴ്സ് ഫെഡറേഷൻ ഓഫ് കേരള വാട്ടർ അതോറിറ്റി. അടുത്ത 4-5 മാസത്തിനകത്ത് വാട്ടർ അതോറിറ്റി ഫാമിലിയിലേക്ക് നിങ്ങളെല്ലാവരും എഞ്ചിനീയേഴ്സായി കടന്നു വരട്ടെ എന്ന് ഞങ്ങൾ എല്ലാവരും പ്രാർത്ഥിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. ഇപ്പൊ ഈ ഡോക്ടർ ഷിബു കൃഷ്ണന്റെ ഈ ക്ലാസ് നിങ്ങൾക്കേറെ പ്രയോജനകരമായിരുന്നു നമുക്കറിയാം. ആർക്കെങ്കിലും എന്തെങ്കിലും ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് ചോദിക്കാനുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ 1 or 2 minutes ചോദിക്കാം, ഹാൻഡ് റൈസ് ചെയ്യാം. ഓക്കെ, ഈ സെഷനെ വൈൻഡപ്പ് ചെയ്യാനും വോട്ട് ഓഫ് താങ്ക്സ് പ്രകടിപ്പിക്കുവാനും എഞ്ചിനീയർ അനൂപ് എംആറിനെ ആദരപൂർവ്വം ക്ഷണിക്കുന്നു.
എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം. ഇപ്പോ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു സെഷൻ നമ്മുടെ എഞ്ചിനീയർ CET-യിലെ ഷിബു സാറാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരു ഇന്റർവ്യൂവിനുള്ള ഒരു പ്രിപ്പറേഷനായിട്ടൊരു ക്ലാസ് എടുത്തത്. എല്ലാവർക്കും അത് ഉപകാരപ്രദമാണ് എന്ന് വിശ്വസിക്കുന്നു. അപ്പക് എഫ്ക AEയുടെ പേരിലും ബാക്കി എല്ലാ എഞ്ചിനീയേഴ്സിന്റെ പേരിലും നമ്മുടെ ആസ്പയറിംഗ് സ്റ്റുഡൻസിന്റെ പേരിലും ഞാൻ ഷിബു സാറിന് നന്ദി അറിയിക്കുന്നു.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, wish you all the very best.
Okay, wish you all the very best. Thank you so much, and
okay,
good night. Okay, thank you.
ഈ സെഷനിൽ പങ്കെടുത്ത എല്ലാവരോടും ഉള്ള എഫ്കോയുടെ, അപ്പക്കിന്റെ, AEയുടെ നന്ദി അറിയിക്കുന്നു. പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് ഡോക്ടർ ഷിബു കൃഷ്ണനോടുള്ള നന്ദി അറിയിക്കുന്നു. എല്ലാവർക്കും വാട്ടർ അതോറിറ്റിയിലേക്ക് കടന്നു വരാൻ അവസരം ഉണ്ടാവട്ടെ എന്ന് പ്രാർത്ഥിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് നിർത്താം. ഗുഡ് നൈറ്റ്, നമസ്കാരം.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.